I think we both would admit that accounting was not our thing, right? We started playing the game. I mean, that's really what it is taking an income statement and breaking it down into buckets. Things connected, right? It was like, okay, this is accounting, but not accounting, right? And this is an income statement, but I don't need to know an income statement. I just need to know what these buckets are, right? I said, well, I think we'll self-implement it. And Herb, again, just gave me that look of like, no, that's not going to work.
We tried self-implementing a lot of things throughout the years.
Yeah, right.
That did not go very well.
Right. So, I mean, that was great advice. I mean, we had a great coach and a great design team. And I mean, that's been really the exciting thing. We're very data-driven now. I think once you take the fear out of the numbers and you understand the numbers, then you embrace it.
We are people that love to candy coat. Dave peeled that all off, and we are now a team that can come together with a problem, and we're already talking raw, exactly face to face. Dave taught us that. We no longer spend 20 minutes beating around the bush. We go right through it. And they're in the same place I am right now. We would fight to keep him for our coach. So anyone that says, is he good? I sing the praises. I said, get through that first initial and you'll get the best of the best. So I would walk beside him anywhere, anytime.
We were really lucky in that our owners, who were sort of looking for their exit strategy, brought the Great Game book to us. And so it was a primer for us. And then we got just like a little bit more of that psychological nudge, or really just sort of, I got voluntold that I needed to implement. And I was like, whoa, on top of everything else, you want me to like implement this huge system. But, being a really ambitious, sort of scrappy go-getter and creative, I was like, okay, we can do this. And, for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job, although I look back and I'm like, man, why did we go through so much heartache doing it ourselves when, getting a coach would have been a whole lot easier. And I think we would have seen the results a lot sooner.
Right. We jumped in full bore, right? All straight into the deep end. We got a coach, Kevin Walters, who's back there. I'm a huge fan of coaching, and I'm a huge fan of Kevin's because of the turnaround that I saw in the company. What's happened has been simply breathtaking.
I love Ann Claire. Our investment in hiring a coach was the single most expensive external investment that we had made. And I was very nervous about it. We've always just sort of figured things out ourselves, but I knew reading GGOB that we couldn't. There were some things I felt like we could figure out, but there were other things that, especially like the bonus system and things like that I just felt like this is not my comfort zone. And it's so important to me that I want to do it right. And I need someone to help me, which brings Ann Claire back into the picture. She's such a graceful problem solver. She was a great sounding board. She gave me room for me to figure things out the way I needed to figure them out. At the same time, when it came time to things that I was just completely overwhelmed by, she was such a good sounding board and partner in sorting those things out too. Accountability is a huge thing with the coaching system. She just kept us on track. This is a hard thing to find time to roll out. And she helped us plan ahead, create space for it. And then she held us accountable. It's sort of like hiring a trainer when you want to get in shape. It's like, if I have a trainer, I am paying the trainer and I have to show up and I'm going to get results, And Ann Claire was that for us. Plus just a great friend and, eternally optimistic and just encouraging us all along the way.
We had been working on some organizational systems for a decade. And really, it's very time consuming to learn by trial and error, but it's also very expensive. Tweaking organizational systems is very dangerous because you're sort of touching on very delicate issues like variable compensation or an ESOP. So we said, we don't want to do trial and error with these organizational systems. We really would want to learn from a framework that's been tested and proven. And when we read the book, really, this framework is incredible. It's holistic. It's an integrated framework. It has years of experience built into that. And I think as leaders, we're always looking at shortening the learning curve. So when I saw this and it had been implemented in several companies, because I think that's the hard part as well. A lot of consultants have come to our company and they do a lot of the planning phase, but they leave when you execute. And execution is really hard. So I think that this framework is a lot to do with execution, and it's been proven. And I said, we really want to build on years of experience of all these companies that have implemented this with success.